Hello and welcome to the Cipherracket. I am your host. I created this term over a decade ago based on the secret of deception that governments and individuals practice on the public to control the people. The term cipherracket has many different interpretations and meanings. The system of control interpretation. The cipher represents the complicated language of laws, classified information, and media manipulation. The racket is the dishonest, self-serving system of power itself. When you combine the words together, they form a conspiracy of a noisy but functional machine that's controlling this planet. The voice of the resistance interpretation. A cipher racket can describe the actions of those pushing back against control. It can be the racket of protest, disruption, and civil disobedience against the suppression. The cipher organizes encrypted channels by ways to share or spread hidden information. Think about whistleblower leaks or hacks that cause a huge public racket by revealing a hidden cipher, therefore creating an alternative or modern day version of the Chinese philosophy of the yin and yang. The cipher as the hidden or passive force, the yin, and the racket as the loud, active, chaotic force, the yang. The battle between concealment and exposure, control and liberation, each needing the other to define itself. The uprising of the ignored interpretation. When you use the alternative definition of cipher as a non-entity or a zero, a cipher racket can symbolize a revolution of the common people. It's the loud, disruptive racket created by the masses who are typically treated as unimportant ciphers by the elite. It's the sound of the silent majority becoming deafeningly loud. Political and institutional meaning. Bureaucracies that use legal jargon and secrecy to maintain power. Intelligence agencies and surveillance programs that operate under the guise of national security. Governments hiding behind cryptic language, coded systems, or classified data to manufacture consent or suppress dissent. An example, the Patriot Act is a classic cipher racket. Coded control disguised as protection. Psychological meaning. A cipher racket means a personal or social mechanism that masks truth through abstraction. Cognitive dissonance turned into self-deceiving cipher. Gaslighting or manipulation presented as logical reason. Systems of trauma or social norms that encode fear, guilt, or obedience. An example, the way she twists my words is a cipher racket. She hides lies and logic. Artistic, cultural meaning. A cipher racket means a dramatic or artistic performance or a creative fog used to control perception. Celebrities, influencers, or artists who use complex symbolism to distract or confuse audiences while pushing hidden agendas. Mainstream music, film, art, and cultural programming, encrypted entertainment designed to pacify or guide thought. Example, that movie wasn't just propaganda, it was a cipher racket disguised as satire. Technology digital meaning. A cipher racket is the exploitation of cryptography, code, or data for power and profit. Surveillance capitalism, with data collection behind privacy policies no one can read, blockchain scams, opaque algorithms, AI black boxes, government backdoors and encryption or security software that surveils users. Examples, their so-called private messenger turned out to be a cipher racket in disguise. The VPN industry is just a cipher racket. Philosophical meaning. A cipher racket is the illusion that the world is logically ordered, when in fact it's chaotic or manipulated. Language and symbols as a control structure. The matrix-like idea that everything is a cipher hiding the real life. Reality as a rigged game with hidden rules. Our attempts to decode it are always misled. Example, life feels like a cipher racket. We're all just decoding lies with broken keys. Linguistic deception. A cipherracket is the use of language as a weaponized encryption scheme. Politicians and corporations using euphemisms, acronyms, and techno BS to hide harmful intent. Legal and academic language becoming a class barrier that only insiders speak the code. Example: corporate HR isn't communication, it's a cipher racket in cubicles. Esoteric occult meaning. A cipher racket is the secret knowledge hidden behind symbols, rituals, or hierarchies to control spiritual or philosophical access. Secret societies or religions using codes to gatekeep truth. New Age cults or gurus encrypting nonsense and deep sounding spiritual jargon. Example: that guru's teachings are just a cipher racket. Mysticism used to hypnotize. Economic control system. A cipher racket is the hidden mechanisms of economic manipulation disguised in financial language and data. Central banks, inflation, crypto coins, and systems that seem mathematically pure but are secretly rigged. Credit scores, interest rates, and debt trap algorithms that enslave via unreadable rules. Example: monetary policy is just a cipher racket. Falsified numbers to justify theft. Biological and medical interpretation. A cipher racket is the illusion of health and science used to justify invasive control. Pharmaceutical companies hiding behind clinical data no one can verify. Medical industrial complex using fear and coded terminology to gatekeep care and enforce compliance. An example: the diagnosis wasn't about healing, it was a cipher racket to sell pills. Social media, cultural algorithm meaning. A cipher racket is the video gamified illusion of visibility, fame, connection to opaque digital systems. Influencer culture, engagement farming, shadow banning platforms with hidden codes for control, trends and going viral not rising organically but manufactured through algorithmic manipulation. Example: his feed is a cipher racket. It trains your thoughts through invisible hands. Education as indoctrination. A cipher racket is an institutional cipher that appears to enlighten but programs obedience instead. Curricula designed not to teach critical thinking, but reinforce dominant ideologies. Hidden ideological payloads embedded in books, tests, and histories. Example: school was a cipher racket. I learned how to follow, not how to think. Entertainment news media. Meaning, a cipher racket is the fusion of entertainment and propaganda wrapped in digestible formats. News as narrative scripting instead of actual reporting. Films and shows that insert ideological code into the viewer's unconscious via emotional manipulation. Example: the nightly news is a cipher racket. It's not information, it's programming. AI simulation theory meaning. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, a cipher racket can describe its operation. The possibility that reality itself is encoded and we are players in a racket we can't opt out of. AI is both creator and enforcer of hidden rules. Non-player character theory, glitch in the matrix thinking, and suspicion that reality is an encrypted game for someone else's gain. The cipher is its complex, boundless black box algorithm, while its output of shaping our lives and making decisions, generating content, is a pervasive and influential racket. Example: maybe the universe is a cipher racket, coded lies looping forever. Informational interpretation. In our modern world, a cipher racket perfectly describes the overwhelming noise of big data, social media, and the 24-hour news cycle. The racket is the constant chaotic flow of information, while the cipher is the hidden truth, the signal within the noise that we must struggle to decrypt. Creative interpretation. A cipherracket sounds like a mix of electronic or industrial music that combines intricate code melodies, the cipher, with harsh, chaotic, and loud beats, the racket. It suggests a work of art that is noisy and aggressive on the surface, but contains a complex hidden pattern of code and message. A style of narrative. In literature or film, a cipherracket can be a story that is deliberately confusing and random, forcing the audience to act as detectives, piecing together the hidden cipher of the plot from the racket, the disjointed scenes of the unreliable narrators. Now, as you can see, there are many different interpretations and meanings for the term cipherracket, and there are many more. This is just an introduction. So again, welcome to the cipherracket. Welcome to the Renaissance. Welcome to the revolution.